Okay, Queens, my name is Shayna Singleton, aka the Herpes Goddess, and yes, having me is a big flex. I am the founder of the Herpes Connect movement, growing the largest herpes awareness community of over 230K. The mission is to make everyone feel uncomfortable until the herpes community feels comfortable being open about their status and proud of their sexuality. Welcome, everybody. So, I got a few questions for y'all. I know I wrote them down. I'm trying to find them. Oh, there we go. Everybody got their pen and their papers? We getting right into it because this video is like 17 minutes type long, so I didn't want to wait the 10 minutes in the beginning. I wanted to get to it. So my first question is, what is your reason for having sex? You got 1 minute. One minute's up. Ooh, that was a long minute, wasn't it? I feel like it goes faster than that. All right. When you have sex, is having an orgasm or climaxing an expectation? 30 seconds. We all good? Okay. All right, last question. What is the difference between mindful and mind feel, FEEL, sex look like to you? What is the difference between mindful and mind feel sex look like to you? So if it helps you answer this question, say, what is the definition of mindful sex? What is the definition of mind feel sex? You have 1 minute, starting now. "22 seconds. Time's up. Okay. So I had you guys answer these questions before watching the video because I want you to answer the questions again after watching the video. I want to see how your mind shifts, if your mind shifts, if your opinion change, if it rolls awareness to an area in your life. This video is very triggering. It was triggering for me as well. And I am interested to see what you all think. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's get to this video. Okay.
Sex, as we know it, is very much influenced by the mind. As humans, we can choose to have sex, unlike our animal friends. They never think about it. It's happening when it's happening, and it's not when it's not. Whereas we can choose when to have it and how to have it. Sex brings joy, excitement, the possibility of love and connection. It also brings sadness, unhappiness, disappointment, trauma. There's premature ejaculation, erection difficulties, performance stress. There's loss of interest, lack of orgasm, physical pain during sex. And as you know, couples often separate because of sex. Fact is, we think the climax is the reason to have sex. It's what we want, it's what we expect. So our minds have become imprinted with a certain program or agenda that makes us climax or goal-oriented in sex. This goal brings stress and tension. For example, having to deliver a good performance, making your partner happy, or pleasing the partner, getting it right, or having to have an orgasm, or having to hold one off for as long as possible. And when things don't go according to plan or wishes, then possible outcomes are we become half-hearted with each other in relating and intimacy, or we give up, we stop trying, or we look for another partner, hoping things will work out better. Well, I'm here to share with you that these problems are not inherent to sex. The problem is not sex itself. The problem lies with the style of having it. Our common style is mind-filled sex. I say mind-filled because we're always thinking about it, even when we're having it. We're concerned about the climax. We're monitoring our own performance. We're wondering how the partner's doing, and so on. And if we believe and think that the climax is the reason to have sex, then of course, it has to be hot, intense, building up excitement and sensation. But there is another style of sex called mindful sex. Mindfulness is a modern word, very popular. Its real meaning is awareness, to be in the awareness, using the mind, yes, but using it to direct the attention to be centered, aware, and present in the body. You are not lost in thought. And in mindful sex, we bring that same quality of awareness, like a meditation, into the exchange. Attention is directed inside the body, and your whole body is used as a sensing organ. It's more like you are being sex rather than doing sex. And just as in meditation, as many of you know from your own personal experience, aware in the here and now, no goals. Let me repeat that. In mindful sex, there are no goals, even climax. Of course, it's an option, it's a choice, but it can happen after 2-3 hours if you wish. But it's not something that you work for. Rather, you relax, take it easy. Imagine for a moment that you decide to spend a day in the nature. Imagine it's a beautiful day, warm, clear skies. And at a certain point, you need to make a choice. Do you follow your favorite trail up the mountain, or do you stay in the valley? As much as you love going up the mountain, on this day you decide to stay in the valley. And you take a slow walk, explore the forest, relax by the river, and you spend that day with no particular goals in mind, and without the strain and the effort of reaching to the peaks and the tiredness that follows. What I am saying is to make a conscious decision to stay in the valleys and not always searching for the peaks. Well, this does sound different, right? And yes, mindful sex does require that we open our minds about sex. And are you open-minded? Open to explore? 30 years ago, I thought I was open-minded. I'd lived through the 70s, sexual freedom. I thought my sex life was great. But then I realized I was going around in circles, from falling in love to falling out of love over and over again. I had this growing sense that there had to be more to sex. And at that time, I was living in India, and that's where I ran into this other style of sex, mindful sex or sex with awareness. So I spent the next 5 years pretty solidly researching. And I was not, yes, you got it, I was not in libraries reading books, I was researching in bed. And, you know, mindful sex is definitely nothing new. It's been there for millennia. Bringing sex together with awareness as a meditation, as a spiritual experience, is one of the aspects of Tantra, an ancient body of knowledge from India. When I started out, I was curious, that was all. Or some may say adventurous. Again and again, I've put this ancient teaching into practice, and gradually my whole experience and view of sex was revolutionized. After a while, friends started coming to me with questions, and that led to me teaching, and then I began to write books about it, and I've been involved in this way for 25 years now. Usually, when I talk about this subject, I have a lot of time to go into detail, several days in a seminar or the length of a book. But here today in this situation, it's going to be a quickie. By now you are probably asking yourself, well, what does mindful sex look like? And it's easiest to describe by highlighting some contrasts, because when we bring mindfulness in, certain shifts and changes begin to happen. For example, from early ejaculation to lasting much, much longer, even hours, from physical pain to physical pleasure, from performance pressure, stress, to relaxing, taking it easy, from disconnection and sadness to feeling bonding with your partner, happy, from loss of interest or avoidance of sex to interest, willingness, longing, returning, from feeling used or seeing sex as duty to feeling valued and appreciated. So those shifts sound well and good, but actually, how do we do it? The good big question. Firstly, I want to say that my own experience is male-female, and I've worked with thousands of such couples over the years. However, I have also worked with other couple combinations, and I can say with all confidence that awareness will increase the rapport, intimacy, and love bond with any couple, independently of sexual orientation or gender identity. Naturally, some of the male-female details won't apply, but principles can be adapted and explored. Having said that, here's 9 basic principles. The first, very practical, you make a date, you set aside 2-3 hours or more undisturbed time. This works very well for women because, the female body warms up and opens up to sex much more slowly than the male body. When the female body is open and ready, this will completely raise the quality of the exchange for both. For men, having a date is very helpful because men are often walking around wondering when they will next be able to have sex again. For sure. And if he knows it's gonna happen tomorrow night or tonight, then he's much more relaxed, present, centered with himself and with you. The next principle is the most important, and that is, if you get this one, then everything else just flows. Your intention is to be as aware and present as possible, and you take it moment by moment. The next, again and again, you scan your body, relax it, relax tensions, check your jaw, shoulders, belly, genitals, buttocks, anus, and you do that repeatedly. The next is you breathe deep. Instead of breathing shallow, you breathe deep and slow into the belly, into the genitals. The next, instead of entering the body fast and forcefully, you enter very consciously and open the canal millimeter by millimeter. And you use lubrication to ease that entry. The next, instead of mechanical back and forth friction type movements, each movement is done with awareness, and that naturally creates slowness, and that increases your sensitivity. Instead of building up and building up excitement, you relax into it. Little excitement and then relax. Little excitement and then relax. Instead of eyes closed and being involved in thought or fantasy, your eyes are open, you're present, you hear, you have eye contact if you wish. And anytime you can share in words what you feel and experience in your body. And the last, have a sense of humor, because really funny things do happen. And we all know it's so healthy and good to have a good laugh. But you laugh at yourself and not your partner, please. In summary, mindful sex is about staying in the cooler zones and not getting too hot and excited. Sex is like fire. You add wood too quickly, let it burn bright. It will create beautiful blazing flames, but very soon that fire will die down. Whereas if you add the wood piece by piece by piece by piece and keep the flame low, then that same fire will last the whole night through. I'm not saying that you have to forego mind-filled sex, but just to be aware that problems are created through that style. So try to open your mind and give yourself other options. Have mind-filled sex when you want rush, a quick high. Have mindful sex when you want to nurture the love and the connection between you. In my learning path, how I felt afterwards was the most important, the greatest teacher. Not immediately after, but in the days following too. So next time afterwards, have a look, allow yourself to look and feel what that style is doing to you on a deeper level. For example, the climax might have been great, but afterwards you feel a bit tired or disconnected or sad, maybe irritable or aggressive. Whereas if you stay in the cooler style, you might notice you feel refreshed, energized, uplifted, and more in love with your partner. Now, the most important thing I ask you is don't believe me. Try it for yourself and prove it to yourself. It's a doorway so close to home, it's easy to pass it by or overlook it. But just around the corner, just a turn, and a whole new universe opens up. 30 years ago, I could never have imagined that changing the way I made love would mean that I spend the rest of my days talking about sex, especially in a forum such as this one. So I am here without goal or agenda to share with you a life-changing truth that awareness in sex creates love, generates love, and nurtures connection. I dream of a world where we don't only fall in love and then fall out of love, but where we rise in love together. Let us begin the true sexual revolution and create a new experience for humanity. A world where couples live in harmony, where sex improves the longer you are together, where sex brings healing, connection, confidence, clarity, where sex invites love and peace on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a courageous heart and a spirit of adventure. Thank you.
Yeah, see why I got us started early today. She has like a dry voice. I wish talking about sex, she had more of a peppy voice because she kind of like, whew, honey, speed it up. Let's get to it. Anyway, pen and papers, please. Question. The first question we ask is, what is your reason for having sex? We're not going to repeat that question. Your reason stays the same. It's climax and expectation. That it stays the same. Your definition of mindful and mind feel sex. I need you guys to answer that question again. And I'm giving you, well, go ahead and start. And as soon as I can bring my timer up, I'll put 30 seconds. Welcome, Key. You came in a little late. So the ladies had to answer 3 questions before we watched the video. The first question was, what is your reason for having sex? The second question was, is climax an expectation? And the third question was, what is the difference between mindful and mind-filled sex look like to you? Now, she did this analogy in the video that I love with the mountains and the valleys, because I love to hike. And when I did live in Hawaii, I spent every single weekend in the woods, finding waterfalls, walking the mountain ridges, in the valleys. And I love how she said how I would want to go to the mountain peaks. I would want to walk the ridges. I would want to see the view. That was the orgasm for me, getting to the point where I wanted to be. But I never really set intentions on, I'm just going to walk the valley today. just the scenery, the view of the mountains, kissing each other, exploring the bamboo forests and the random fruits. They used to have random avocado trees and passion fruit, and just in taking that all in. When that is the experience as well, all of that stuff, that feels good too. It might not be my orgasm, but it's still a good feel good feeling. There was a point in my life when I was having sex and the goal was the climax. And only some people I had the valley, the feel good feeling, and then the orgasm. But then some people I had sex with, the goal was the climax. We got into it. I was in my head. How do I look? How do I smell? Am I making him feel good? This kind of hurts. Mama do it anyway. I was in my head to even enjoy the experience up into the orgasm. So yes, I love that analogy. Now I would love for you to review what you said before and what you said after, and hear if there's any changes. I'd love for you to share with me.
I'll share. My first answer to what is my reason for sex, my first and only answer was pleasure. Obviously, it's to have children one day, for love also one day, but as of currently in my life, in the stage that I stand, it's for pleasure. Is climax and expectation? Yes. The mindful and mind feel sex, I off rip assumed was mindful. I assumed was just awareness, basically, because what do you think about when you're mindful, type of thing. Then mind feel sex, I put I don't know, because I, before she spoke, did not genuinely know, truly know. Um, After, I put for mindful sex is sex without an expectation, just slowing down and actually enjoying and being present during the moment of my sex, per se. And then I did mindful sex would be hot, explosive sex with no intentions and uncomfortableness.
Okay. Thank you for sharing, Pamela. Um, I want to touch right back into the video and also include your thoughts on the video. 3 to 6 to 10-hour orgasms are a real thing. They're really a real thing. It happens, but it only happens with mindful sex. It only happens when we get out of our head and we really experience every single sensation of our body. You don't realize how much the world has desensitized us, especially men when they get circumcised. Their penis is constantly rubbing on fabric and it desensitizes them with sex. And that's why men are so down to stuff like that. They have desensitized us. How we think, our belief systems, our traditions around sex that prevents us from having those experiences with ourselves. Now, for why society would want to disconnect us, but that is our power. That is that orgasmic energy. I don't know if you heard of it or not, but that's what that is. That's that divine femininity. So what we need to do is break down our mental. We have to discover our sexual blockages in order to get rid of our sexual blockages, our belief systems, what we have learned, what we think sex is to be, what intentions we set before having sex, our expectations for sex, and our reason for having sex in the first place. Do we want it to be a wham, bam, thank you, man, nut, and then that's it? Or do we want it to be a connection? I'm on the phone with Bay and there's a connection. they walk through the door, there's a connection, there's an energy, there's that time bae takes with you as a woman to build you up and get you to where you need to be, because it takes women a little bit longer than it does men. It's the intimacy in that, it's the communication in that, it's the hunching, it's the touching, it's the feeling, it's the temptations, it's all of that. But we block ourselves from it if we're thinking too much, if we don't let go, if we're not mindful. Anyone else want to share?
I'll share.
Okay.
So I wrote for the first question, I have sex to feel pleasure, open up emotionally, and connect. And then for no an orgasm is not an expectation. And then for mindful sex, I put thinking about it. And I thought you said mind feel, like I feel you, or so I put you feel the sex mentally.
Okay.
But after the video for mindful, I put where you are mentally there. And then for mind filled, I said sex where you think about the orgasm, and then the self pleasure only.
Okay. Okay. What was it? What did you think about the video?
Oh, I thought the video was really interesting. It like opened, because I wish I would have like had these questions asked me like when I was younger, when I first started, just to get out like, why am I doing this? But I thought it was very interesting. I liked how she just, I don't know, said that it's not all about the ending or the explosive moment that everybody thinks about, that there's like a process to it like anything else. Like you're missing the big points and the connections that could like help you in other places, and that if you are having like blockages, like you say, that it's not even dealing with sex, it's something else.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because more women in this planet have never experienced orgasms than women who have.
Yeah.
And last thing someone will think about it is my own past traumas or my way of thinking or my belief systems or something I've learned from my mama is the reason why I can't get an orgasm. No, you're not going to put two and two together if that's not already in your culture, already in your religion, already something you was raised with. And Mideastern cultures, depending on which one, are the only ones that will talk about tantra and I guess meditative, spiritual, sexual practices. Anyone else? Rita, Key, Leslie, I want to share.
I'll go. For the first question, I put it's more of a connection than a pleasure. I put yes, it's a climax. Well, I expect a climax. I didn't write anything for mindful or mindful at first, but when I went back after watching the video, I put for mindful was no goals, awareness, and confidence. For mindful, I put rush, quick, and sad. On the video, I actually enjoyed it, and just like Marquita said, I wish I would have seen that video earlier. It opens your mind up some more things. Also, just watching it.
What are some other things? Can you share with us?
It just got me to thinking. Mainly like how she was explaining everything. Okay. Basically, that's all it is. Like how she explained it, it just broke it down better to how I should have thought about it before, compared to how I think of it now, having sex. So,
thank you. She went into she came up with 9 ways you can have mindful sex. And the first one was make a date, 2 or 3 hours or more undisturbed time. That is so essential. Not just to you having mindful sex, just for life, period. Your herpes, the stuff you're dealing with that you're trying to break the stigma for is everything in your life taking at least 2 to 3 hours. Fuck that. Take a weekend and spend it with yourself. Can you do that? Do you know how to do that? Can you stand yourself? Can you sit in your thoughts? I mean, turn your phone off. Undisturbed time. This is undisturbed time. Me, I'm going to get a getaway house somewhere in the woods by myself, leaving my phone, and I'm doing all I do. I'm smoking, I'm meditating, I'm grounding myself. I'm just going to be undisturbed time for me. So that is key. She said it helps you, it helps female learn how to get ready on time. Basically, you know how it takes us so long. We need foreplay, warm us up, get us ready before we have sex. But when we take that time to ourselves to have some undisturbed time, we get better at it. We get better learning our turn-ons or how you need to feel or how you need to show up or what intentions you need to set. It becomes a routine for you. It becomes natural when you practice it versus when your partner comes in. Now you already have like a routine with yourself. Foreplay is not going to be as hard. Number 2, she said, set intentions. Be aware and present. Be as aware as present as possible. And present as possible. So setting intentions. Anyone here has set intentions before sex? No. Okay. Anyone here going to set intentions before sex?
What type of intentions can you set before sex?
Healthy sexual communication, connection, not to, you know, your old bad sex habits, right? All of those bad sex habits that you have, set intentions on not having those bad sex habits. Cultivate love if that's what you want. I mean, you can cultivate intentions is, damn, I want wham, bam, thank you, man, and get it to the point. That's intentions as well, y'all. Attentions are one night stands is intentions as well. So I don't really want to tell you what intentions you should be setting. Just make sure that you are setting intentions and don't go into the sexual act blindly. Because then you're going to let the act take control of everything you got going on. It might stop you from saying no, or your no might get ignored and you might feel bad and you might keep going. All of those other things start to happen when we don't set intentions. So set intention for yourself. What are your expectations with sex? Is it really just a climax? Do you want more expectations than that? Does it bother you that all this time, the expectation that you set for sex was a climax? How would you change that for yourself? How would you want to change that in your life so that it showed up differently in your child's life? So that you can communicate that to them. Sex as a meditation, sex as a spiritual experience. Breath work is key. I don't know if you are there with Euphoria on Wednesdays, but you should be learning how to breathe, because even when those climax come, you need to learn how to breathe through them. You got to learn how to breathe through sex. If you don't know how to breathe through sex, you might be stopping yourself from getting an orgasm. You might be at the pinch of an orgasm and you pull back because you don't know how to breathe. But being able to breathe during sex is being mindful. I'm going through this experience. I set intentions on breathing. While I'm having sex, my breath might turn my partner on. It might be a chain reaction. It'd be little, that's that mindful sex. Paying attention to everything that you're doing. But she said, stop the mechanicals. Yeah. Stop the mechanicals. Stop. Throw away your whole vision of sex and what media puts out there. Sex can happen even without penetration. Sex can happen with your clothes on. What else she put here? I list them. Scan the body repeatedly. What are you feeling? This is what I do during meditation. When I'm sitting with myself during meditation, I'm focusing on everything. I'm like, damn, I got a little tingle in my right thumb. Sometimes I get there with me. I'm scanning my body though. I'll do guided meditations, and they'll guide you to scan your body. They'll start from your feet all the way up to your brain, and you're really feeling everything because you're bringing your awareness to that area of your body. Meditation will help you to be able to have sex in a meditative state. Having sex and scanning your body, become aware of what you're really feeling. You're going to feel other sensations. There's 13 different kinds of orgasms. There's no reason why the only orgasms you're getting is a G-spot and a clit. No. Your brain can give you an orgasm. Touch. Sensations, the same sensations that we have right here in our hood and in our G-spot is in other places in our body. I don't know if y'all can right now. Can you get a glass of water? Can everyone get a glass of water? Let's go get a glass of water. I'm gonna get one too. Whew. And I'll tell you why I said glass too. Even if you don't have a glass, that's okay. But I'll tell you why I said glass. All right. Everything carries a vibration. Everything is energy, right? And I say set intentions before everything you do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set intentions into this water. This water was dead. I want it to become alive. So whatever I want, day full of peace, love, and happiness, that's what I want to do. Set intentions in this water. I'm going to do it. Mwah. Drink. Y'all don't got to drink with me yet. But this is sensations with water, right? Set some intentions in your water right now. I want y'all to practice. Do it in your head. Set intentions in your water. Charge your water up. What do you want to drink? Drink some good. Feed into your life. I just had me some peace, love, and happiness, all right? What you having to drink? Now, after you set your intentions in your water, I want you to take a sip and hold the water in your mouth for like a second. Feel it slide down your throat. Feel the sensation of the water coming down your throat. Bring your intentions of where the water goes. If you haven't done it the first time, take another sip of your water and do it now. Now, if you're just drinking water and you're talking to your friends, you're not raising awareness to how that water feels, what it feel like in your throat, what it feel like in your mouth. No, you're just drinking water. But now all of a sudden somebody's talking to you about it and tells you to actually pay attention to it. Now you're aware and you feel it. It's the same thing with sex. You imagine all the shit you're thinking about and all the sensations you missing out on. Orgasm that you probably gonna miss out on because your mind is everywhere else. That's that mindful sex. That's that scanning of the body. We already went into breaths. She said, breathe deep, slowly into the belly and the genitals. Euphoria was working on sacral breathing exercises. And every time she would inhale, you clench, you do a Kegel. So if you don't know what a Kegel is, it's kind of like if you're taking a pee and you want to hold your pee, that's that contraction of the muscle. So when you breathe in, you do a Kegel. Breathe in 3 seconds, hold 3 seconds, breathe out 3 seconds out your mouth, let go of the key, release the Kegel. Ooh, can you imagine if you do that during sex? He ain't never gonna go. Oh, that mindfulness. Listen, then it says, enter body consciously and penetrate canal minimally. Ain't that something? I know us women, we love the initial entry. The initial entry is like that. Imagine if he slowed that down, or if she slowed that down. Intentionally decided to slow that down, intentionally decided to just play with you, tease you, work you up, get you ready, build that intimacy, build that build up. He set attention, he is aware, he's being mindful as well as yourself. Then you be like, who want an orgasm for 10 hours? Me calling me the next day. I couldn't even get up out of bed. No. Every movement done with awareness. A little excitement, then relax. That's what she said. A little excitement, then relax. A little excitement, then relax. I tell men to practice semen retention. Women, we got to kind of practice holding back too. There's a buildup we feel before we nut. We know when we're going to nut. Practice stopping it and bringing yourself right back down. Then building that right back up. Then nipping it in the bud and bringing it back down. I practice and sometimes I fail. Sometimes it's hard to stop it. I need to learn my body a little bit more then. That's what that's telling me. So practice, build up, bring it down, build it up, bring it down. Men do the same thing. Men have a lot, that's an energy, that semen that they release. That semen they release make babies. It's a huge energy. And when they decide to practice semen retention, they're teaching themselves how to take that energy and instead of releasing it and depleting the body and put it back into the body for something greater. Now, some men are immature. They don't want to do that, whatever. But that's a part of Tantra. It says, open your eyes and get out of your thoughts. So when you're having sex, don't close your eyes, open them. You don't got to look at the person. If you want to, you can. If you don't have to. But that's how you snatch souls. I'm going to tell you right now. So if you don't want to snatch a motherfucker's soul, don't look in the eyes. Don't do it. But open your eyes, become aware, look at him, look at your body, look at his body. Don't say, oh my God, no, just take it all in. Smell the room, what the room smell like, what the sheets feel like, what's your throat feel like? Is it dry? Are you thirsty? Awareness to everything. Awareness and everything. You start to raise awareness during sex, then you're gonna be like, damn, my mind is so noisy during sex. And I didn't know that. Because it'd be your first time doing it. Damn, I can't even stop. I can't even be mindful during sex. This is ridiculous. And it's gonna make you want to explore. Share the experience. Share the experience you're having with your partner. Tell them how you're feeling if you want to. Tell her how you're feeling if you want to. Even if it has to be after or before or during. It's on you. Share the experience. And last, have a sense of humor. Whew, I love to laugh. And I'm going to laugh during sex. It ain't going to be at you. It's going to be at us just having a good time and enjoying ourselves and enjoying the company. And sex shouldn't be such a serious thing. And if it's been such a serious thing in your life, let's do that work. Let's journal about that. Why is sex so serious in my life? Why can't I laugh during sex? Why don't I think ain't shit funny with sex? There's a laughter is happiness. Shouldn't I be happy during sex? And if I'm not happy during sex, why? And why am I having it? I would love your feedback on today's call. I wasn't expecting it to be 8:50 something already. Time like flew. And we started early. So what's up? Y'all gonna let me talk? Okay, there you go. There we go. There you go, Pamela.
I like the video because, like I said, currently for me, sex is about pleasure. And it gives me, to an extent, a new way of pleasure. It gives me a new way to look for and find, if that makes sense.
Okay. Would you guys want to hear from a sex coach one Friday? I think they having a party over there, y'all. It's lit. Anyway.
I can't hear it.
Okay, I'm like, it is lit over there. Anyway, would y'all want to hear from a sex coach? Is that something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. My sex coach, Dr. Shelly Persad, she's currently moving to Panama, but she's been dying for me to work with her. So I want to bring her in too, and maybe she can talk to you all.
I have a quick question. Do you have a sex coach because you're trying to learn more, or what are the reasons why someone could use a sex coach?
I had a sex coach because I was disconnected with my yoni after finding out I had herpes. I couldn't feel her anymore. I couldn't reconnect with her. I wasn't getting horny. I wasn't getting wet. She was broke because I was broken. And in my healing, I was introduced to Dr. Shelly Prasad. She kind of became my sex coach by default because we worked with each other for Zencation retreats and we were all healers. So yeah, she is the reason why I'm reconnected. She's the reason why I even know that your mind is connected to. I was like, I'm freaking broken. I don't know why I never had this problem before. And I wasn't feeling sexy anymore. I guess herpes kind of struck the ego.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that I was putting my worth amounted to my pussy and how I could make other people feel, and my pride when it came to how I had sex and how I made men and women feel. And now that when herpes showed up, that kind of like stripped it away from me. And I lost connection with my vagina. And I had to do the healing work in order to regain connection with my vagina.
Okay, thanks.
I liked today. It was really good. I wrote down some questions for me to ask myself, like just why am I having sex? What do I feel afterwards? What do I want out of this? Like the whole set intentions thing. And then to just a reminder to scan my body and like throughout the day, like it doesn't have to be is with something intimate, but just to get closer to myself to figure out, why I'm making decisions.
I love that. I love that. How about that water? Did it make you think about sex a little bit?
Mine, when you were describing it, like, how does it feel, like analyzing, drinking the water and whatnot. Yeah, a little bit, but I drank Love and Growth.
You want to watch Alien versus Predator?
Yeah, wait one sec.
Yeah, but do you want to watch it?
Yes, go.
Hey.
So he interrupts every Zoom call, but yeah, so yeah, you love a TED Talk. I have realized that.
Yes.
You live for a TED Talk, so I'm
Yeah.
about to start looking those up because they're very interesting, and I never got into them.
Yeah, you can learn a lot. When you find yourself bored and trying to look for things to watch on Netflix, go to YouTube University and learn something. Learn something every day. It's a quick 10, 15-minute video. You learn something. People like, Shay, you so smart. I'm like, no, I just be learning. I put an audio book on when I'm driving. Like I'll put an audio book on when I'm in the shower. I look up these YouTube videos for us. Or when I was going on my journey, I was everywhere with it. I done took so many courses outside of school. Just learn. Open your mind up. That's the part of the mindfulness, y'all. It's part of the mindfulness. You training that, constantly working that brain. Your body don't just need exercise, your brain need exercise too. I appreciate you all. I'm so happy that y'all here. We doing the work. We showing up for each other. We are holding each other accountable. And I already see y'all minds changing, and that's dope. I guess I want to end on hearing everyone's new intention that they're going to set before sex. It don't got to be all your new intentions, but just give me one intention you are going to set before having sex that is for you in your self-care.
I'm going to ask myself, why am I doing this? I'm definitely going to do it.
I like that.
And I was gonna say if I actually want to do it.
I would say to like try to focus on being connected with the person instead of like overly focused on trying to please them.
That was mine also. I was gonna say, is there a connection?
I was going to say that. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, it's a party next door.
Hey.
I definitely wanna be more cautious while having sex instead of just overly thinking about how the other person is feeling.
Okay.
Because I'm definitely a people pleaser.
That'll take you away from pleasing you. I said, can you really complain about a small dick if you don't know how to please yourself? And if you don't know how you please yourself and you're one of those people complaining about a small dick, what you complaining for? Can't even tell that man how to use his dick to come please you. Right? So let's learn our bodies. Let's show it for ourselves. Men gonna get theirs regardless. They gonna get theirs, okay? And they know how to get theirs. And we expected them to know how to get theirs and know how to get ours. No, we gotta know how to get ours. They need to know how to get theirs and need to tell us how to get them there. And we need to tell them how to get us there. That's that healthy sexual communication. That's that exploration. That's that mind boom. I appreciate you all. I hope you have beautiful weekends. We're not doing Storytime Saturday tomorrow. I'll be in Norfolk and Amber is taking some self-care time. So I will see you all. Hopefully Facebook will be in live in the afternoon for Q&A. We're going to still do Q&A Mondays, but we want to just do it for the group. So we'll see you on Monday. I love you
Thanks,
all.
Jana.
Have a good
Bye,
night.
Good night, love you.
Bye.
Good night.